YouTube and welcome back to my channel. I am Natsume Shea if you didn't know already. Alright everyone, 2023 is long gone and 2024 is upon us. And today's video, I am ultimately going through my 2024 creative / artist planning. Now for me, I typically like to start brainstorming towards the end of the previous year. November and December for me were pretty chaotic, to put it nicely. So for me, I really didn't have a whole opportunity to go in depth with some of my plans for the new year. But I think that's okay because for me, I like to brainstorm and then once January starts, really start going more in depth into my plans and goals for the new year. And that's really what today's video is all about. I'm gonna be going through my planning process as an artist, as a creative, and just share with you all some inspiration on maybe how you want to plan out your new year. Now I know it can be very daunting, but to be honest, most goals don't immediately hit the ground running January 1st. Honestly, that feels very overwhelming and intimidating to me. And for me, I like to just kind of warm up into the new year because the whole world doesn't change once January 1st comes around. And I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've been on the more pessimistic side of, oh my gosh, I don't want to set goals or resolutions. Those are just gonna end up failing anyway. To the more, I guess, toxic positivity end of I'm gonna get all of my goals achieved, I'm gonna do everything I set out to do, and it's gonna be perfect. So for me, I like to go at it in a more, set general ideas and goals and concrete plans and deadlines, but then also have room for, when life happens. And this doesn't have to be just if you are an artist. This could be if you are a musician, a cosplayer, a painter, really any type of planning and creative goal setting is probably who this video is going to be for. Also, if you are new here, of course, like I said, I'm Natsume Shea. I am an artist, content creator, and WEBTOON creator as well. And my whole channel is devoted to me sharing some of my experiences, also my processes when it comes down to my different creative endeavors. So if that's something that sounds interesting to you, definitely consider subscribing to this channel to get updates on more videos to come. Right, so sit back, relax, get comfortable, get yourself a notebook, some coffee, or save this video for later when you are ready to work on some things. So the first thing I like to do before I even start planning, before I start even goal setting, is to reflect. Reflecting on the new year, I find, is super helpful because if I pretend like I didn't accomplish anything in the last year, then it's not going to make me feel good or even make me motivated to set goals for the new year. So what I typically like to do is reflect on what I accomplished or got done in the last year. Two things come to mind for me is one, relaunching my YouTube channel. I feel like many who have different YouTube eras, and that's nothing really to be embarrassed about. It just means that you are in a constant search to find, what sticks and what you really value when it comes down to what you share online. So relaunching my YouTube channel was a really big step, a scary step, mind you, but a step that I'm really glad that I was able to achieve and struggle towards pretty much. The other important thing that I was able to accomplish last year was also launching my WEBTOON. Once again, that felt kind of daunting because, as I told you all before, this isn't my first time doing a WEBTOON. And when you get some of those negative thoughts in your head that, oh, well, this is just not going to succeed, just like I didn't succeed before, those are thoughts that can definitely follow you around. But I felt like I stuck with it. I learned from my previous mishaps and really decided to do things differently this time. Also, I find that reflecting not just on what you are working on art-wise, creativity-wise, but also in your personal life as well. Just kind of fully thinking about, okay, what did I do last year? What I will do is I'll look through my photo library, shows me and kind of brings back to memory some of the things that I got to do. And then what are those things that you did do last year that you want to bring into the new year? I want to continue to bring in that consistency. I really want to continue to really work hard and work on things when I don't really want to work on them, or work on things even when it scares me to do those. All right, so now that we have reflected, that's when I usually start setting some goals and coming up with some ideas on what I want to do in the new year. I typically set like a 5-minute timer at most and just kind of brain dump what those things are that I'm interested in doing. And the reason I say 5 minutes maximum is because it really does give you that stream of consciousness way of writing down these things that kind of go with your gut, and you write those down because honestly they really are important to you. If you set a 10 to 15 minute timer, then what that's going to do is going to allow you to kind of ruminate on these goals. It'll allow you to think about them a little too hard and almost talk yourself out of them. Definitely don't spend too much time. You can edit down your goal ideas later on, but maximum 5-minute timer. Just jot down anything that comes to mind that you're interested in doing and then move from there. After you've done some editing down of your goals, next you're gonna go through different goals. I would say probably the top 2 or 3 goals that you really have set for yourself. Do what is called the SMART method. Now, you probably have seen these all across the internet already, and honestly, if you Google it, you can probably find like a really cool comprehensive breakdown of it, but you're getting the cliff notes from me today. So the first thing is the S, and that is a specific goal. So for me, I set very specific, almost detailed sentences when it comes down to the goals. So that way it's not super general, up in the air, what it is you're trying to accomplish. And then you have the letter M, which is measurable, and that is how will you be able to track your success? Am I going to actually see improvement? How can I see improvement? Certain goals, you really do have to visualize, and that's why this is such an important piece to all of it. The A, usually this is either achievable or attainable. So pretty much, why is this something that you can achieve? Why is this a goal that is, something that you feel like you can accomplish? The R stands for relevant, and basically, how is this relevant to your life, career, or values? How is this relevant to what you want to do in your life? And then the last one, the T, is going to stand for timely or time sensitive, and that's really just setting a deadline for yourself. How do you want to, of course, measure the success, but then how do you want to make sure that you're accomplishing it? Are you going to track yourself with this goal every month, every week, every 2 weeks? Just setting those deadlines for what you're wanting to accomplish is also really important. Okay, so now I'm gonna go through just how I use the SMART method for my goal setting. All right, so my first goal for 2024 is to work on my WEBTOON faster. That is the specific goal. Of course, my goal in general is working on my WEBTOON, but specifically, I want to work on them at a slightly quicker rate. Now, how is this measurable? Seeing what work I can complete on one page of my WEBTOON daily, and then of course, track my work on a weekly basis. Can I work on the line work for one whole page? Or can I work on the color for one whole page in one day? And then we're going over the attainable aspect. In 2023, I released 1 episode per month, and I learned a lot about how to optimize my workflow. That's pretty much why I feel like my goal of achieving, working on my WEBTOON a lot faster is attainable. With every episode that I did, I learned something to make my workload go a lot quicker. That kind of goes into the reflection part. So that's why that's important. Because if you are able to kind of reflect and say, hey, this is something I succeeded in, that's why this new goal is attainable, is really helpful too. Then the relevant part, so the R, and that is I want to release episodes on a bi-weekly basis so traffic on the comment can increase. And then the timely measurement, and that is 1 to 2 episodes released per month. So that is the goal that I have set, the SMART steps, I guess you can call them, for trying to accomplish that specific goal. Now, of course, I have a ton of other goals and ideas that I have gone through this method with. Some of those I won't be talking about on this video, and some of those will be hopefully things that come into fruition in 2024. And now we are going to talk about the mindset that we want to go into this year with and how that's going to really help you with your different goals. Your creative energy is guaranteed to fluctuate. I promise you, I'm gonna be super real with you guys right now. Sometimes I don't want to make a YouTube video, and sometimes I don't want to draw, and that is super okay. There are going to be times where your energy is going to tank. You are writing out these goals, setting and planning for the new year at the peak of your productivity. That productivity is definitely going to fluctuate throughout the year. So just know that while you're setting these goals, keep in the back of your mind that not every day is going to look 100%. And that takes me to my mindset number 2. Plan for these things to take longer than you think. Definitely understand that these things take time. For example, I really want to finally learn beginner Japanese. I can set a goal of 3 months for myself and that not really pan out because life happens. If you don't accomplish that specific thing in the designated time frame, you're definitely going to be more than 0% progress. Mindset number 3 is to give yourself grace. Please. Let's say you want to do a 5-minute animated short film and you are one person, you are one team of people. You cannot be down on yourself if you don't accomplish certain things that maybe a team of 10 to 20 people can achieve. It's just not possible. And it's possible, but you will definitely be burnt out. Sometimes you're gonna come home from work or come home from school and just be super duper tired and maybe not want to work on anything. Something is better than nothing. And if you just work a minimum of 30 minutes on said thing, 30 minutes is a really tiny, maybe 1% of a 12-hour day. And just be the biggest supporter of yourself if you do only accomplish a 30-minute or an hour worth of thing. Perhaps check in with yourself on a quarterly basis. If you are, working on your own projects or working with other people, really take an example from how businesses work. When you think about how a corporation measures their success, they measure it by what are called quarters. So that means every 3 months, they check and see, did we hit the numbers that we want to hit? What micro goals you can set for yourself every 3 months and track those and see, have I hit this goal by March? And if I did, great. If I didn't, well, that leaves me into the next quarter. And the next quarter is when I want to hit this goal, this deadline, etc. And then the last mindset when it comes to your goal setting, make time for enjoyment that is non-art, non-career, non-creative related. You cannot produce creativity without consuming it as well. There are so many things that you can do that are still creative. Like for me, I love watching movies, I love watching TV shows. I even love working with my hands, spending time with family, spending time with friends, getting out and doing some physical activity, because artist and creative related injuries do happen, and if you're not moving your body, that could be pretty detrimental in the long run. So those are the types of things that I like to keep in mind as I'm setting these goals. Once again, when you're setting these goals, you are at your peak productivity, you are manifesting, you're envisioning how your year is going to go, and we usually only visualize things that are gonna go our way. And we don't really visualize when, you get sick or when, life happens. Those are things to keep in mind, but of course we can't let them stop us from trying to accomplish these things. And the next activity is to vision board. Now, vision boarding can be digital, it can be physical. No matter what method you're using, it's a really great thing to visualize the goals that you have in mind. For me, I actually make a physical vision board that I then put on the back of my door. And that way, before I exit my room every day, I see those pictures before I step out the door and go about my day. That's just my method. You can make a collage in Canva. You can do a cool visual note in Procreate or your notes app. Really, any options exist out there nowadays. That's just a really helpful thing that I like to do. And it's also another really cool creative activity that you can do. And then after you've gone through your vision boarding, your brainstorming for all of your goals that you set, the first thing that you want to do, you want to figure out what your step one for every goal that you have is going to be. It can be something super mundane. So if it's like, you want to start a webtoon, then your step one could be opening your computer and logging into the WEBTOON app to create an account. If your goal is to, complete a sketchbook, step one could be getting in your car to then go drive to your local craft store and pick up and purchase a sketchbook. Our ideas kind of float up there and we don't exactly know where to begin, but if you create a plan of where you want to begin, that is all the better. I hope this video was some use to you. I know that it was a lot of information and hopefully I broke it down in a way that was easy to digest. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Capricorn and I am all about planning. When you're born on the first month of the year, you kind of become that person. I think that whether you do every step that I say or if you only implement a few, it is important to just have an idea of what you are interested in accomplishing. And this could be year one of many years of a goal that you have. In 2023, I started my webtoon, but webtoon is not exclusive to 2023. It's now a goal that I have for years to come until I just can't do it anymore. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, a like on the video would be very helpful because that lets YouTube know that, well, you liked it. And then also can recommend more of my videos to you. And if you are also interested in subscribing, I definitely welcome that as well. And by the time this video is out, I might have a new episode of my webtoon, but if you haven't checked out my webtoon just yet, definitely give it a look. You can find that webtoon link in the description below the video. All right, if you have gotten this far in the video, please comment one of your goals. I would love to hear them, and if it's a goal that maybe I can assist with in a future video, then that would be even better. So go forth, be kind to yourself, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!